All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging and Friends. We are back for more Deadlands tonight. We're continuing our Blood Drive campaign, and some of the players are concerned that how we're starting off tonight might result in TPK, player death, or something like that. It's certainly possible. It's certainly possible. As I said to Matt when we were going on, it's going to be tricky. Like, this is a tricky situation that you guys are in. You're a little spread out. Vampires to the left of you everywhere. And they're vampires, so there's like little rules adjustments and stuff that you have to account for. Adam, thank you so much for that sub. Is that a prime sub or a regular sub? That's a regular sub.
It's a regular one.
Wow, buddy. Thank you so much. 18 months. Oh my gosh, a year and a half. Man. I don't think that's going to save you tonight, though.
I had to open up a second mortgage.
Oh dear. If you think you're going to guilt me into going it easy on Eustace, that's
oh no, Eustace's
probably not.
biggest mistake was having the last name of Ellsworth. So, and that just reminded me. Oh yeah, I need to change my name.
We've killed two Ellsworths, I think. One of them was your character. One of them accidentally was like an NPC. I remember back at Alien, but we haven't killed any Ellsworths in Deadlands, so you're okay there. Yeah. Right.
You know,
it just doesn't feel right yet.
I got an Alien campaign going on right now. Maybe I need to kill some Ellsworths over there.
Yeah, you should.
Oh my god, my character's so dumb. I started playing him. I didn't think he was gonna be that dumb, and then I just started making fun of John the whole night. And I sent a message to John afterward. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry.
John and I were talking about that on Friday, and we both just absolutely love how much animosity there is between your characters. But it's all one.
So weird. It's so one-sided. I'm such a dick. I told him, I'm like, dude, if I'm ever too much of a dick, just let me know. But I was just like, oh god, like I didn't even want to, because we had just gotten off like our characters being, sort of, at odds at times in the previous game. I don't know. Oh well. Hey, look, it's Steven. Anyway, I want to go ahead and introduce characters.
Hi, Steven.
Let's start with old Dr. Byron Cuspid. Jeremy, tell us about Cuspid.
I'm Dr. Byron Cuspid, the resident dentist and a practitioner of the new science, and I don't understand this talk of fear of death or worrying about a TPK. I think this is a delightful opportunity to meet some wonderful creatures, and, if we die, that's great. If we don't, I get to harvest some teeth, so I find it to be a win-win.
There you go. And if you do succeed, it's special teeth, too, because teeth are different, they're going to be sharp and stuff, and I don't know, I guess.
I'll make all sorts of great and terrible things with their teeth. The trick is, how am I going to harvest them before they turn to dust?
You just got to hurry up before nightfall, or before dawn or something, maybe. I don't know if they turn to dust right away. That's a good question. I should look into that. Next up, we've got our Canadian superhero, Scarlet Justice. Tell us about Scarlet Justice there, Matt.
Good day, Scarlet Justice is down here to take out these creepy crawlies that we're facing tonight. But I fear that this may be the end of Scarlet Justice and his party.
Yeah.
It's not looking so good, eh?
It's like I said. There's a few things I'm worried about for y'all, but I think you guys have faced worse.
Nope.
No, you really haven't, actually. Now that I think about it. I mean, if I would have played out the full automaton thing from Wasatch, that could have been a lot worse. But since we did it dramatic task, it was a little easier. But that could have been really bad. This is rough. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Next up, we've got Eustace Ellsworth. Go tell us about Eustace there, Adam.
Oh, Eustace is just a man. That's all there is to it. He drinks himself some drink, he punches himself some punches, and he's about to probably get his ticket punched. But we're going to go out swinging.
Yep, that's certainly possible. Next, we've got John Ives, our resident cannibal. Chuck, tell us about John Ives.
I'm John Ives. I every now and then like to have me a tasty snack, man flesh. I was trying to go for Lord of the Rings, but that just came out real. Yeah, never mind. Anyway,
I could hear
John
it more.
Ives. Oh my land! Oh my gosh. Anyway,
There's
I'm
nothing
John
wrong with
Ives.
craving a bit of man meat.
John Ives, and I have no problems. I think we're going to do fine because there's dynamite over here, and I'm just going to take some of that, feed it to a vampire, and then shoot his brain into Explosionville. It's going to be good.
That sounds like a real interesting plan. Real interesting plan. Excellent. We'll see how that plays out. Next up, finally, we've got Anna Tabo. Melissa, tell us about Anna.
Yeah, so Anna is the resident Wrangler ranch hand of the Lazy S here. So far, she's generally found things that she's pretty successful at roping if she needs to. Not so sure about her placement on this little map we're looking at, like smack in the middle, no cover anywhere in sight. Not so sure her rope is going to save her today, but we will find out.
I don't understand why you keep complaining about your map placement. I genuinely think you have the best map placement of anyone, because you'll notice that where you are placed on the map, there isn't a plague vampire next to you. That's the first thing, right? So there's that.
You want to trade? I'll trade if you want.
Yeah, right. Oh goodness. All right. Well, let's dive in. So basically where we're at, you've been the crew has been trying and failing, like the Lazy S as a whole has been trying and failing to kind of stealthily cross the Sioux Nations, and you kind of got caught by a Sioux war party, and they guided you to a ruined fort, and you were drastically outnumbered, and there you learned that there are a few dozen settlers led by a guy named Rudolph Jovic, who had also been herded there and quarantined after some of their people died of smallpox. And there are others, it seemed at the time, that were fighting disease as well. When you arrived, Dr. Cuspid, Anna, you all went and you met with the settlers' healer, a woman by the name of Sadie Love, to lend a hand. And while you were giving treatment to these people, you discovered that there were some interesting things. It was smallpox for sure, that you're confident of, but there were also these strange puncture wounds that were hiding among the blisters of these pox victims. They had suffered some kind of vampiric attack in addition to the pox that they're sort of facing. Elsewhere, Jack and Ives and Eustace, you were kind of moving around, looking at the fort's defenses itself, kind of talking with some of the people, etc. And you discovered that there was a group led by a man called Earl Whitehead that was planning some convoluted escape plan, because the fort itself is being completely surrounded by that massive war party. And they're at a distance, kind of like they're waiting for you all to sort of sort yourselves out or die out or whatever it might be. And so Whitehead and his folks were going to plan some complicated escape using dynamite and like a fiery wagon to distract the Sioux and then flee in the opposite direction. Earl's nephew is one of the folks with smallpox, and he wasn't willing to wait and watch him die. Now, late at night, after the treatment, Eustace, you tried to talk them out of it, but they just weren't listening to reason. Anna, you kind of scouted around as well. Who else? But Eustace, you actually heard one of the guards that was on like an upper walkway of the fort. Something strange was happening. Something fell to the ground, and you discovered that the guard that was up there, she was being attacked by some sort of creature that was feeding on her. Outside the fort, Ives and Jack were looking around. Ives, you were looking specifically for planted dynamite because you had learned of the plan. You found a man that was setting the dynamite, or had been setting the dynamite, but currently he was also being fed upon by one of these vampires. Jack went and checked out, I believe, the grave site, found 4 empty caskets of the 4 people that were said to have been buried there, tracked one of them back right to where Ives was, actually, and so now the two of you are actually outnumbering that vampire. And yeah, Anna, you were just sort of surveying the settlers, and Cuspid, you went back in to check on your patients, and you found Earl Whitehead, who had come into the tents to steal his nephew away as they were getting ready to leave, but he was getting fed on by yet another vampire. Okay, so lots of different things going on here. We are actually going to do combat. We're gonna do initiative. We're gonna track it there. I've given the players a map, but I'm not gonna do a proper map for everyone because it's not a tactical map. It's more just like an approximation map. So players, this is just giving you a general feel for it. Don't worry about scale too much. Tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you how long it takes you to do it. That kind of thing. But it gives you just a general idea. So we have this ruined fort, southwestish by the gates. Eustace is there. He's by the steps that kind of go up to this walkway. Anna, you're basically right in the middle of these sleeping settlers. Cuspid, you're on the north side, inside the walls, in the health tent where people were being sequestered, and then to the northeast, outside the walls, is where we find Jack and Ives with another one of those vampires. So that's kind of where everyone's at. It's dark. A bunch of people are sleeping. People don't know what's necessarily going on just yet. There hasn't been any major sounds. It's just been like these stealthy attacks. So, does anyone have any initiative screwery that we have to worry about? I think Jack's the only one who does, right? All right. Let me get some
my squirry.
Get some music going. Let's begin some combat. So you got a 2 of clubs, draw an extra one. King of spades, that's much better for Jack. Okay. So, first thing I need everyone to do, other than Anna, I need everyone to make a fear test at -3. As those of you who are now looking dead into the eyes and the visage of these creatures, it is fairly horrifying. Bennies have been reset. You're good to go, and we'll go from there. Anna, you do not have to do that yet, but once you actually see one, we'll do one then.
That's just a spirit roll, right?
Spirit roll, yeah, -3.
All right, I'll use my chance to do my free reroll.
Hey, look at those exploding.
There we go.
I got a
Okay.
2.
Oh
Mine was
no!
only on a -2 because I have an edge.
That's
FYI,
paid
if you're
off.
wondering.
Ah, that's great. I have a hindrance, so I was at a -4.
Because it's nighttime. Oh no!
No,
Oh no!
I'm not afraid of the dark anymore,
Oh,
but
you're not
because
a
of
night
my
terror?
because of my night terrors, I get a -1 to all spirit rolls.
Okay.
You know what? I am going to Benny that.
All right.
Let's get those out of the way
Either
before the
Ashley.
fighting starts.
Use up all those bennies.
Oh, I
That
got
would
a
be
6.
interesting, Jeremy. If you all became vampires, that could be fun.
Mhm.
All right, Cuspid, how'd you do?
And
Thanks to the fact that I have guts, I did make my check.
Okay, good to go. Dawson, how'd you do? How'd Jack do?
I got an 8.
Okay, Eustace, how did you do?
I got a 2.
Okay, and Ives, how did you do?
5. 'Cause I
Okay.
banged it.
So, Adam, roll a d20. So you're rolling d20 -2. As you are the only one to fare, and this is a terror check, so something's going to happen.
And we have 3 bennies from Ashley. Thank you, Ashley.
Ashley, what are you doing?
A -1.
What are you doing? Do you want me to kill your character again? Is that what you're trying to do?
You do it.
Start
You do
throwing
it.
me some bits, Ashley, and maybe your characters won't get shot in the head anymore. How'd you do, Adam?
I rolled a 1. -2 equals -1.
Okay.
On that table is low good or
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a
High.
+2, so it's the opposite. But you
Oh,
rolled a
it'd
natural
be-
1.
Yeah.
Dude, this is actually really good for you. You get adrenaline surge. The hero's fight response takes over. You act as if you had a Joker for this action. So,
That's
Nice.
awesome. That is
So-
awesome.
I think so. It's not an actual Joker, but so when your turn comes around, I think it's what it is. You're going to get your Joker. You'll get your Joker benefits. That's what
That's
it's
I
a
remember.
+2.
+2
plus
to anything
2.
you do, including damage.
including damage. Yep. Okay.
Nice. Eustace is crazy enough for that to make sense.
All right. So,
And Ashley gave 300 bits for a complication check.
okay. Thank you. I'm going to add the other 4 vampires. in
All of
now.
a sudden, a xenomorph comes out and kills an Ellsworth.
That
A
would
second
track.
vampire comes out. Oh goodness. Okay.
Get some xenomorph teeth.
Oh no, Steven. Or no, actually, Steven and Chuck are marrying each other. So I've seen the conversations, and I've kept my mouth shut. I've kept my mouth. I mean, I'm hurt. It really, really hurts that Steven would do something like that. But congratulations to Chuck. He was the better man. It's fine.
In all fairness, I did set the dowry really high.
Okay. This is what's going to happen. So in terms of who goes first, the Plague Vampire, that is by Jack Dawson and John Ives, is actually first. He draws the ace. I'm going to choose my target here. I'm going to say 1 to 3 is Jack. It is, in fact, a 1. It's going to go after Jack. Okay. So as the two of you kind of close in on this shadowy area, and there's no light other than if you have your own. There's no light here. It's all very dark. The guy was using the shadows itself to hide and set up the dynamite, and the Plague Vampire kind of took advantage of that. And he looks up, sees the two of you come, and his face is sort of covered in blood and these blisters from smallpox, and he's going to turn his attention over to Jack, and he'll step up to him, kind of like almost like leap lunge, and he will go to attack. Now these have the frenzy edge, so that means that they get to once per turn take a fighting action where I roll 1 extra fighting die and allocate the 2 best against any opponent or opponents you're in melee with. So you could hit the same guy twice, or you can hit 2 guys once each. So actually, we'll say again we're gonna play this not too dramatic. We'll say each of you will get a hit. How about that? Make that a little fair. So.
Okay.
So that's it. All right. So the first one will be against Jack. Jack, that is a 5 to hit. It's melee. What's your parry?
What is
Jack?
parry?
My
I'm sorry.
parry is 5.
Okay, and it's also a 5 against John. Same thing. Ives. Okay. So the first one, it's gonna lunge out towards Jack. It's gonna hack its claws and try to bite into him a bit, and then it's gonna lunge out at Ives at the same time. This like crazy frenzied attack on both of you. What's your parry, Ives?
5.
Okay, so it actually hits both of you. So it's gonna do strength plus D4. Oh dear.
No thanks.
Guess what its strength die is?
12.
16.
It's D12 plus 1.
E30.
Oh, that. Yeah, I don't like this.
Did
I
you
don't
roll
like
a
I don't like
12?
that look.
I rolled a
Did you roll
12.
12?
I rolled a
Oh my
12.
god. Oh my god.
But I did roll a 1 on the D4. Okay, so I rolled a 2, so 14, 15, 16. 16 points of damage to Jack.
Okay. I have a 14 toughness.
You have a 14 toughness?
Yeah.
Right now?
Do
You
you,
have 14 toughness?
do you still have Cuspid's stuff?
might
It
turn
says
all
on my
stuff
character
on.
sheet. Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Turn Cuspid stuff off, yeah.
Yeah, I just had to
Yeah.
go turn mine off.
Yeah, I double check that.
I don't know where that is, but okay.
It's under
Should be in
armor,
your gear.
Should
Bluetooth
be in your gear.
protection. Make sure that you store it so that it doesn't do anything.
Okay, his is off. It's carried.
I don't know.
There's no way that you have a 6.
What is how do we calculate toughness?
He does have the armored duster on.
I do have it, but it's only plus
Oh.
2. I believe.
One sec. All right. I haven't updated everything yet because everything's kind of going crazy.
It's hardwired and there's a 14. I can't even
You do have an
override
armor
it.
of 2. It doesn't increase your. That's weird. Huh. Alright.
Try changing the Bluetooth from carry to stored and see if that does anything.
I'm just gonna delete it.
Yeah, just get it
Oh.
off there.
Get out of here.
There you go. 8 toughness.
That's an 8.
Okay, so I did 16 points. So 8 would make you shaken. 12 would be 1 wound. 16 would be a second wound. So there's 2 wounds. You're shaken in 2 wounds. Do you want to spend a Benny to soak?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
I get to roll for free though, don't I? Or I have to wait till my turn to do that.
You have to spend a Benny to soak. Is that correct? My.
Oh, you get to roll for free regardless, don't you? And then if
That's
you
at
fail
the
your roll,
start
you
of
can
a
spend
turn.
at the
That's
start
for
of my turn.
for
Okay.
breaking your shaken. This is
Gotcha.
for soaking the damage.
Okay. There's a Benny.
Okay, and so then roll vigor. Oh, there you go. Okay, 7. So you'll get. So it'll be 1. So that means you'll be shaken and you take 1 wound. So you manage to soak 1 wound. Okay. So you are shaken and you take 1 wound, and now I need you to roll a vigor test at -2. As it, with its pox-covered face, its blister-covered face, sinks its teeth into your neck.
I'll use a Benny. But we have
Okay,
crowd
that's
bennies?
You have 3.
All
Yeah,
right.
which
I'm going to
you
use
get-
one of those.
When you've
You
used
get,
your own.
If you survive, I can cure sickness.
Yeah, it's gonna. This is basically like Jeremy knows. This is essentially for you getting smallpox. Okay.
Just because bennies might be very valuable.
Okay.
All right.
There we
you're
go.
good.
Bennied.
Okay, so you take this shake and you're shaken. You got 1 wound, but you are not riddled with smallpox yet. Chuck, damage I did is
Yes.
8.
Oh, my toughness is 5, so that's just shaken, right?
Just shaken. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Roll a vigor test at -2.
Yes.
'Cause this thing is just like frenzying, slashing around, hands covered in blistered, face covered in blisters.
You know what? I got a 3. I'm gonna keep it.
Okay, you are riddled with pox, smallpox, in fact.
I've got the pox.
You do. All right. Now that his turn is over, we go right over to Jack. Jack, you're next with your King of Spades.
Okay. Oh, it automatically rolls for sure.
It does.
Shake, nice.
And you're good as you roll a 9. It looks like, and so you are no longer shaken. You got the 1 wound. You got this plague vampire between you and Jack. Between you and John. What do you want to do?
Where are my 5 followers? I should have 5 followers with me.
5 followers.
As per my edge, they're the equivalent of a soldier. I took
Okay.
the follower's edge in the last one. So, where are my people to help me out here?
So you have like a whole group of like trail hands and stuff that you could probably pull to. I don't know if they walked with you to the gravesite, but you could certainly call for them.
Because each time the set is chosen, 5 followers come to fight by the hero's side. So I should have my 5 followers here backing me up. I guess maybe they would have been doing the rounds with me. Let's say my
Okay.
posse.
All right.
5
so
more
5
bodies.
total, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
They said, and the edge said it's equivalent of a soldier
Okay.
profile.
Gotcha. Let me pull out. So I think I
I
probably
got my boys,
Okay.
my deputies. That's right, John. Deputies.
All right.
Boom.
3, 4, and 5. There you go. You've got 5 soldiers with you on the map. Okay. Meat shields, indeed.
Meat
Okay.
shields. They should have taken that attack. That's all right. Jack will take the first hit.
Oh, I still.
5 for fighting. Yes.
All right,
So,
one of them.
You mentioned last time there were lanterns hanging, and I was hoping to go grab one of these lanterns that are hanging on the wall, and I want to throw it at this thing.
Okay, the lanterns are primarily on the inside of the fort, up on the upper railing. You're down on the ground on the outside of the fort. There's no immediately available lanterns, but you could run inside.
You did mention there was some outside here last. I think I specifically asked for this plan. I
Okay.
do remember lanterns being out here.
Sure. Then if you remember it, then we'll say it's true, and we'll say there's a lantern somewhere. Or at the very least, we'll say that the guy who was here setting the dynamite probably has a lantern nearby in the ground you can go grab.
Sure. Okay. I would like to take a lantern and throw it at this thing.
Okay.
At the dynamite? No.
Throw it at the dynamite.
Well, I'll die.
So that'll be, I think that's athletics if you're doing a throw, if I recall, or is it
Okay.
fighting? It's one of the two.
I don't know.
Athletics for throwing.
I think it's athletics, yeah.
Yeah.
4.
Okay. It's a throw, so it does in fact hit. And so we'll break and we'll say that this is going to set him on fire. We'll say roll d6 for damage.
Want.
Okay.
That's okay.
So you throw the lantern, it cracks over top. You see the oil kind of spill, you see some fire kind of get over top of him. And you can see that some of the clothing that they were buried in has now kind of got caught on fire. They're in the process of kind of batting it out, freaking out a little bit at it. But it doesn't look like it's actually killed him or anything like that. It certainly has set some of his clothes on fire. Then, if you want to do something with your soldiers, that's fine. Did they get a full on action here?
So let me quickly read Follower's Edge here. Use the allies rules to give them distinctive person. Doesn't
That's just
say. Says they won't throw their lives away unwillingly.
Does
Well,
that mean they had to make a spirit roll?
I exactly.
Oh yeah,
think
do
the
they all
same
need to make
thing.
spirit rolls? Yeah,
So, yeah,
technically.
let's. I'm just gonna roll these from the
Sure.
from the thing. So these are all -3. So first one. That one's scared. So that's 1.
Scared.
That one's scared. That's a 0. You're gonna need a 6 off of one of these, I think. Three of them are scared. All right, there you go. One of them sticks around, and we got one more
It's
to
my
roll.
boy.
Okay, so I'm going to say of the other ones, they're all freaking out, but one of them
Yeah.
manages to sort of hold their ground. And I'll move these others kind of down here and figure out exactly what's happening. They're extras, so I'm just going to say they're freaking out and they're sort of panicking and maybe
Sure.
running, but the other one stays around. Okay, so go ahead and take an action with him if you like.
Yeah, I'm gonna have him shoot.
Mhm.
That's the most he can do. He doesn't know that he's not gonna be able to hurt it. I can't roll with him for whatever reason. I can't open his character sheet. So if you can just roll the attack with the soldier.
Sure. We'll say he's got a... I'm just going to use what they have. Yeah, he misses with a 2. This creature's just like dodging around in this frenzy, lunging at both of you. It's just and it's still kind of dark. Still, despite the fire, takes a shot, misses, but at least they're there with you. So that was Jack Dawson's, and then we're gonna go to yet another one of these creatures, as it is the vampire now over by Eustace Ellsworth, who is like kind of half up these stairs, sees on the kind of ruined wood the guard. She's on, kind of laying on her back. Her legs are kind of kicking, and looks like she sort of settles. The creature looks up, sees you, Eustace, and before you can kind of yell out or do anything, it's just going to lunge directly at you. So, and that is a 1. So it lunges, and you are quick enough to move out of the way. As you step off to the side, it clambers down onto a couple of the steps, but it is right up in there with you. I do get to roll another fighting die, so I'll go ahead and do that again. 6. What's your parry there, Eustace?
6.
Okay, so although the first swipe doesn't necessarily hit, it kind of stumbles down the stairs. It will, in fact, get the second one off. So let me roll. You're hard to hit. I did roll an 11 plus 2 is 13, 14 points of damage.
Right,
How
my
does
toughness is 11,
Okay, so you're just shaken,
but not stirred.
but not stirred. You will have to roll a vigor test at -2 though here to see if you get the pox.
Okay. All right.
And then Anna, it'll be your turn at this point. Now, no guns have gone off. There hasn't been any loud noises yet.
Oh wait, no, there's because you always roll a d6 with it, right?
Yeah, because you do because you're a wild card.
The follower shot his Winchester, but missed.
That's a crit failure because I rolled 2 1s.
Okay.
Oh no. That's oh my.
Now I gotta look in to see what happens when you crit fail.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. Crit failing against supernatural illness is fine. Totally fine.
What could go wrong? You said you can heal. You can heal illnesses, right?
I mean, when he turns into a puddle of goo, there's only so much you can do.
I think you're okay for now. You're okay for now. Okay. So next up, Anna, you're in the middle of a quiet sleeping camp. There are people all around you that are sleeping. No gunshots have gone out. As far as I know, no one's screamed out just yet.
My follower shot.
I'm sorry, you're right.
There was a
absolutely.
gunshot.
Anna, you hear a gunshot. And not only do you hear a gunshot, as you're in the middle of this camp, you see a bunch of people start waking up. And they're like, What's that? Sue here? Are they coming for us at last? What's happening? And everyone kind of is starting. There's a little bit of panic as gunfire goes off, but no one's freaking out too much just yet. But as the sound of gunfire has gone off, it has awoken the sleeping people here. What would you like to do, Anna?
I would say one of the last things I saw was someone getting on a horse in the northwest corner of the fort.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that I would move straight ahead to kind of the next to the medical tent.
Okay.
And so then I guess my question would be, as I'm moving in that direction, would I be able to see what's going on in the medical tent or not?
Roll a notice test.
Sure. So
You hear the vague sounds of urine dangling down Cuspid's pants, and with that wouldn't happen. Cuspid's
7.
not scared. He's not scared.
I'm
How'd you do?
incredibly excited by this, actually.
Yeah, that's probably
7 is my initial.
yes, you would hear something going on inside. Like there's a scuffle or some sort of strange sounds. Like there's something going on. There's activity in the tent. But they keep the flap closed because it is a quarantine tent. So the flap is closed. But you would hear something going on inside.
Okay. I know that was a decent distance that I moved. Would I be able to kind of put my kind of bandana back up over my face and go back inside?
Sure.
For my
I'll
turn?
say you can go inside. Sure. Yeah. And if you
All right.
want, you can take an extra action and just roll out whatever you. If you go inside the tent, and you see something and you want to do something, that's fine. It's just going to be like a -2, or you can roll your pace or something like that.
Yeah, if you do the equivalent of like a run's worth of movement, you can still act. You just have a -2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
you're breathing a little heavy as you run into the tent. People are starting to wake up outside and asking questions about gunfire.
okay. And so when I get inside, I see this vampire-looking dude.
You do,
Inside,
and now
right?
you need to roll that fear test. So roll a spirit test at -3. As you see, he is feeding on Earl Whitehead, and he just drops him to the ground. This large man just flops to the ground. You can see there's this little kid as well nearby that looks like Whitehead was trying to abscond with, and then Cuspid standing there as well.
Throw a dice around. I'm betting that to see if I can do better. 5.
Okay. That's a pass. So you
Nice.
see it. There's a moment of shock, but you manage to steady your nerves. What would you like to do?
Well, I made the joke about it, so I'm going to give it a shot. I want to see if I can lasso this vampire on the neck.
All right, go ahead and roll your lariat attack.
That's wonderful.
No idea what that's going to do. I feel like it's going to be one of those things where I throw it and then it just like uses the rope to pull me in.
I mean, that's horrible. That would be terrible if it did that to you.
Now it's going to be that. I didn't have that idea until just now.
I don't want to say better you than
gosh.
me. Oh, God.
It's a crit failure.
Oh,
With
no.
a critical fail, that is exactly what happens as you throw the lasso out and it rips you in, and immediately he's going to just try to take a bite out of you. It's a crit fail. Crit fails, crit fail.
It is.
God.
It
We're
is.
doing awesome tonight.
We are.
Listen.
Oh, my God.
Matt's got an army. I think you guys are okay. 5 is how's 5? What's your parry?
5 is my parry.
Okay, right on the dot. So, man, okay.
Yeah.
But at least you're with
and
Cuspid.
Matt does have an army. That's why they call him old Matty Two Armies.
15 points of damage.
Oh no.
Oh,
I
God.
rolled an 11. I keep rolling high on my d12.
Okay, so my toughness is 7, so I now roll a vigor, right?
So 7 would be shaken, 11 would be your first wound, 15 would be your second wound. So currently you're shaken with 2 wounds. You can spend a Benny and then roll vigor to soak.
All right, and it's vigor plus d6.
Yes,
Or just
it's just a vigor. Yeah, it's your vigor test. It should.
vigor. Okay.
It's you always roll
Spend
a
a
d6
Benny.
with whatever you roll.
That explodes.
Ooh.
So that's 10.
Okay, so 10 is a raise, so you will get rid of both wounds, and in doing so, you clear off both wounds, and you won't even be shaken, as that's what happens when you soak, because you are good. You manage, it bites into your neck, but you're able to kind of push it off, and its fangs never quite get into your neck.
I
as you're
figure
able
I've got
to
that like
stiff arm it.
bandana up that's kind of over my face, and my
Nice.
bandanas kind of hang down.
Yeah.
I feel like it
Yeah.
kind of got in the way.
Okay. Eustace, you're up next. You pass your shaken test off the bat automatically. You've
Nice.
got one of these plague vampires in the middle, right on the stairs with you. You hear people below starting to get nervous, and it's like, what's going on? Everyone okay? Everyone call out. Where you at? And then there's the gunshots fire. You heard a gunshot fire on the far eastern side. You're all by yourself. There's a woman laying, possibly bleeding to death. What would you like to do, Eustace?
All right. So is this vampire like right on top of me right now?
Right there with you. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna yell, "You've done had your fill. Go on, get!" And I'm gonna pull out the blade that Dr. Cuspid gave me and stab it in the gut.
Please do.
So I don't know the stats of the blade. So do I just roll fighting?
Yeah,
So
you'd be
fighting
fighting-
test. What kind of blade was it? Was it a Bowie knife?
Yeah, it's the Ghost Steel Bowie knife, so it's going to be strength plus
I'll put it on the sheet.
D4 plus 2
Okay. So first off, let's see if I
and
hit it.
armor piercing 2.
All right. So that would be an 8
Okay,
because I
just
get the
dropped it
plus
on
2
your-
for the Joker.
I just dropped it on your sheet. Yes, you do.
right.
8 is good. That beats their parry.
Okay, and then damage is
Strength
Would
plus
be-
D4.
Strength
Okay.
plus D4, and then since you've got the Joker, add another 4.
Is it 4 or is it 2?
2
I always
for
forget.
the Bowie knife, and then 2
Oh, yeah,
for the
okay.
Joker. Because it's Ghost Steel makes it from a +1 to a +2.
so
Yeah, because
that's
my Bowie knife is a strength +1.
7 plus 4 is
Plus
13.
D4 +1.
Plus 3 is 16. Plus another 4 is 20
20 points of
Good.
damage.
Lord.
from the Ghost
Okay.
Steel knife.
You lunge out. You take the knife and you bury it. Like, where would you stab it with? Like, just flavor wise.
I'd stab it like right towards where its stomach is.
You just stab it right in the stomach. You pull it out. You see this like kind of almost jelly-like black blood just flop down onto the step in front of you, or down in shoes. It looks down at it, and it looks up at you. And it
Done
doesn't-
told you, now get.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to kill it though. Okay.
You don't know no better.
Next person goes. Something happens.
Oh, God.
Next person goes. Something happens.
Hmm.
Then the plague vampire inside of the healing tent with Cuspid and Anna will go. I'll do the same thing. It has that frenzy die, so it's going to frenzy out, and it's going to attack both you. So the first one we'll say on Cuspid. Cuspid a 6. How's that against your parry?
That hits.
Okay. And then Anna, 5 again. So Cuspid, that is 13, 14 points of damage. Actually, I'm sorry, that's a 4. It's going to explode. 16 points of damage.
Of course. Okay.
Sorry, buddy. It's only the 4 that exploded.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Anna, I can do math.
So I'm gonna need to
11 points of damage to Anna.
I'm gonna spend a Benny and go to soak
Yeah, me too.
because I've got 2 wounds from that.
We've got 5 audience pennies, so I'm going to spend my last one.
And remember, the bennies we can use for +1 or +2. You can spend 1 benny for +1, 2 bennies for +2.
I canceled it out.
Okay, so Cuspid, it lunges at you, and you feel the pressure of its claw just kind of rake down like your chest. But it's just maybe whatever you're wearing. Maybe you have like an apron on as you were working with the sick patients. Whatever it is, it doesn't break skin. And before it tries to go at you a second time, it just reaches back towards Anna, kind of pulls on the lariat, and just tries to bite her once more. Anna, how'd you do?
Well, I rolled a 3.
Okay, so it's 11 points of damage. What's your toughness?
7.
Okay, so that's 1 wound. Shaken plus 1 wound.
Okay.
All right. And then go ahead and roll that vigor. And we come around to Ives. Ives, you D-shake.
I'm
What you wanna
Ives. I D-shake. And I need to refresh on the rules real quick. I want to do that thing where I shoot a crap load of time. So that's what is that, Jeremy? A -2 to everything?
Are you ambidextrous and two-fisted?
I am just ambidextrous and 2-gun kit. So yeah, both. So I can shoot twice with each gun. That's a
If you just do the 2 shots, you're fine. If you try to do 4, you're gonna have a -2 to everything.
yeah,
it's
that's
four.
what I'm going to do.
4 shots at -2. It's just you're basically doing a multi-action. So you're
Mhm.
shooting.
Okay.
You're taking So you're doing your attacks 2 times, but because you're doing it, all of them get -2.
Okay.
And not to slow things down, but Anna crit failed her vigor test.
Okay, so both
No.
Anna and Eustace have crit failed vigor tests.
Everything is fine.
Everything's fine.
Guys, let's put it this way. You're okay right now. Okay. All right. Let me know how you do there. I'm just writing some stuff
Okay.
down.
Shot 1 is a miss. Shot 2. Double 3s again. Still a miss. Shot 3. That's a miss.
Did you get a 4th?
4. No, I got a 2. I rolled a 4, but with the minus, it's a 2.
You missed all of them?
I've got 1 shot left.
Okay. You can do it, man.
I got
You want any
this.
bennies to boost this?
I'm saving my bennies for the last
We've
one.
got 5 audience buddies if you want.
I meant like
Okay.
audience boost. We should stop calling them bennies. We should say
Yeah.
audience
true.
boosts, so we're not getting
Okay.
confused.
Let's see what we got. Can
Okay.
I use those before or after? Is it just before?
I think we're just doing before, just to get a bonus to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll use 2 of those. Guaranteed
Get a
hit.
+2. There you go. Unless you roll double 1s, then I think it's a crit fail still.
I rolled 2 2s. I'm going to use one of my actual bennies and re-roll that.
Well, 2 2s is still a hit,
Yeah, I get the
2 2s.
-2.
but you used 2 of the audience boosts, which cancel it out.
So
You
it
rolled a-
gets me at.
Oh no, that's right. I'm
Sure.
sorry. 2 2s. You're still at 2. Never mind. I'm stupid. Leave me alone.
That's okay.
Leave me alone. It's Monday.
So that would be a 4. I get a hit.
All right. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Yeah. This is 2d6 plus 1. 5.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to spend my last penny on that.
Okay.
Got to get rid of those things.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
That's a 3. That's a
Yep.
3.
Yeah, it is. You fire. One of them hits. Like you fire, and it's moving quickly. It's dodging your shots.
Yeah.
You're firing. You're killing all of Jack's soldier friends. And then the last bullet like hits it square in the stomach, and it just kind of looks down. There's this tiny hole where the bullet goes in, and probably a bigger hole in the back where it came out.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't seem to deter it in the least.
Mm-hmm.
Blackberry jelly everywhere.
Black belly.
Wham, wham.
What you say? Okay, Cuspid, your turn.
Oh man, I'm torn between whether it's better enough to try and raise our defenses or just put this thing down before it does more.
So just to remind folks, you did get some information. You know that these things
Mhm.
are weak to fire. You know that stakes to the heart, and definitely there's some effect that holy symbols or holy water might have on it as well.
Mhm.
Like those are things. Sunlight, obviously. Yeah, and then and fire. So those are basically the big things that you would know.
I'll rely upon the old standard, the thing that's totally not magic, but is kind of magic.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're fighting vampires, of course you need to break out the whip. That's what you do. It's just the go-to, you know. So just like pop out his little, pop out thing from the wrist, click on it, get the chainsaw whip with teeth going there, and lash out at the thing. How many audience boons do we have?
We are back up to 4 after John's most recent.
Thank you,
ending.
John.
I think I might use a couple because I really want to just see if I can take this thing out, possibly.
Alrighty.
All right, maybe I'll do 2.
Okay.
I'll do an extra PowerPoint. Damage modifier +2.
Weak to gunfire.
Okay, it's a ranged attack with an 8. Is that a raise?
That absolutely hits. However, I don't think it's a raise. Hang on. Well, no, it's a raise for you because it's a ranged attack. Yeah, so it's a raise.
Okay. Sweet. So that'll let me do 4d6 plus 1. $16.
What kind of damage is this?
It's energy damage, whatever you.
So it's like
call
electricity. Okay. Sort of like electrical spark. It's not fire, right? Is what I'm saying.
No, like
okay.
Most of the mad science stuff is kind of magical. I'm glad to defer to how you want to rule it.
So it's got nothing to do with it being magical. That doesn't actually.
Okay.
So that the magical nature of the damage doesn't actually impact it. It is if it was fire, this would take damage. It'll take damage, but up to a point. And so you see the electricity of your whip just like as it wraps around, and the shock goes through, and it does certainly shock it, and one might say shake it, but you don't see it take any lasting damage from it. So basically, I would say after this round, I mean, if everyone can kind of piece together, they can be shaken by your attacks, but they can't actually be slain or damaged by your attacks unless they're specific to their invulnerabilities. So you all would probably be able to piece that together. Okay, so let's go to a new round. Whew. I'm tired already. You guys,
right?
All right. Anna, you're at the top. You got a red joker. There you go. Jen, thank you so much.
How did I do with
22
that?
months.
I'm not shaken.
You're no longer shaken. Not only that, but you have a joker. Everyone gets a Benny. You get your bonus on everything.
Okay.
You're in this tent. I think all of you were around to have that information about the weaknesses, so everyone kind of has the general knowledge of it. So use that as you will.
All right. What is there around me that I can break? Something wooden, ideally.
Sure.
That can be broken.
Cuspid's jaw is right next to you. You go for that.
That is not wooden, I assure you.
There are. If you're looking. Oh, you're looking. So you're looking to make stakes. Okay.
I'm looking to find something around here that might be
absolutely. There are crates nearby that have stacked up. You can see that there are there's a dimmed down lantern in here as well, or maybe there's a little bit of light, but not overwhelming. And you can see that there's a crate there. You can very easily take, if you want to take an action to smash that, and I'll say you can get a wooden stake for sure.
Okay.
If you want to take 2 actions, then whatever your second action is going to be at penalty, but you do have a joker, so.
Can I? Let's see. Cuspid, are you decent at throwing things?
You would know too, by the way, that it's a called shot. It's a stake through the heart. So it's a called shot, which is going to have another penalty on top of it.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like I might as well try to do it this round because this is when I have the joker. So.
It's a good point. So you smash the crate, grab one of these, the shards of it, to work as a wooden stake, and then you lunge towards this creature who's still, you and him are tethered to each other through this lasso, and you're going to attempt a stake through the heart. It's a called shot to the heart, so it's a -4. So you have a +2 left over from your joker, so it's going to end up being a total of a -2 to hit, a -2 to your attack.
Okay, and I'm imagining that I'm going to try to break it, and I'm going to try to use kind of the connection with the lariat to try to kind of move it towards me kind of while I stab, and we'll see how the roll goes.
That sounds good.
So is this fighting?
Yeah, so
or
you
athletics?
No, it's fighting. It's just you're stabbing,
okay.
right? Just
okay.
If there are boosts, you're welcome to take them.
We're back up to 4, so I'm going to take 2. So that
So
will
it's just a
negate
flat
the
roll?
-2.
Straight
So
roll.
it's just a
straight roll.
D6
And it's shaken for what it's worth.
And that's an explode. And that's another explode. And that's a 4. So that's
Okay.
16.
Well, that
Nice.
hits.
Which is on the to hit, not the damage. But
That'll be a hit. Okay. Go ahead and roll your damage. I do have to roll some. I have to roll a vigor test first.
Okay.
Versus, so what basically I have to do now is I have to roll a vigor test versus your damage. If I pass, then it's not necessarily going to die. It'll just take damage normally. If, however, I fail, it just disintegrates into dust. Let me know what you roll for your damage.
oh gosh. I'm considering if I want to use one of those or not. I'll use one. We have one left.
Okay.
All right. And so then the damage, what are we calling this for damage?
We'll
Since it's
say
an improvised stake thing.
improvise. We'll say strength plus d4. So your strength die plus a d4.
Strength die.
But again, you have the Joker, so you get your bonus in your damage.
Another
Alright,
plus
so
2
it's
on
gonna
top of
be
it.
plus
Yeah.
3 then for one for the audience and then one for the Joker. It'll be a plus 3 to whatever I roll. Oh my gosh, that is an awful. That's a 6.
6. Okay. Do you want
That's
a
the
Benny
total.
to reroll anything? That's terrible. Dear
I
God.
know.
Do you want Benny to reroll anything?
Yes, I will use the
Okay.
money that I just got for the Joker and try to reroll this. Exactly the same.
Okay. Well, the good news is that it failed, as I rolled a 1 on my vigor test. You rolled 6 points of damage. So as you lunge, as you pull the lariat, you pull it towards you, and you just kind of hold the stake out. You just hear the sickening crunch as the stake just pierces through where the heart should be. And as their face comes right up next to yours, this foul, horrific breath comes out. You see the blisters from the pox around its face begin to burst. You feel it kind of get on your face a little bit as well. And then it just turns to dust and falls to the ground. This pile of dust on the ground.
Well played, Miss Anna.
Oh, and she's just kind of recoiling from just this dust of, ugh.
That is disgusting. There's no two ways about it.
This is some foulness.
Hmm.
All right. Next person goes. Something happens. You don't need to know about it. And then the vampire over by Eustace is going to go next. Eustace, you stabbed it in the stomach, which does not seem to deter it. It will continue to go after you, I think. Okay. Oh, also you shook it, I think. Let me roll.
Yeah, it was probably
let me roll
shaken at
vigor.
least. He did like 20 damage.
Yeah, it's definitely shaken. Let me roll vigor, or no, spirit. Excuse me. 7 on my spirit, so it does de-shake, and then it'll go ahead and it will try to attack twice on you. 4 is probably no good, I would imagine.
Nope, it's a 6.
What about a 1? Would a 1 work?
Yeah, let's do it.
So as it freaks out and starts trying to claw and bite its way through you just manage to kind of parry every one of its attacks. You keep the mouth away from you. You keep the claws away from you.
You're dragging your entrails.
We move over to Jack, and Jack, you're there, and your soldier will go right after you. What do you want to do?
Does Ives have the dynamite? No, it's on the ground.
Yeah, it's on the ground.
Hmm.
You want to shoot at it? See if you can blow it up.
No, not yet. I want to take the dynamite. I want to
Okay.
shove it into its fucking guts.
Okay.
Then
I
we're
love
gonna
it.
shoot it.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. So you lunge down to where the body was laying there, next to the wall.
Mhm.
You think they're still alive, in fact, and you grab the dynamite. That's where it's being set, and then you're gonna lunge out. We'll still call this a melee attack, as you're
Okay.
trying, and you're just trying to jam it into its
So fighting?
pockets or something or whatever. Yeah, just roll fighting. So it just won't do damage itself, but you will. You're just trying to hit. It's got a parry of 6.
Okay, I'll Benny that. Negative.
Okay.
Okay,
As
so
you reach out, it'll just swipe your hand away and kind of lunge out to the side. You still have the dynamite on you, but it's not. It is not on its person yet. You weren't quite able to get it in there. The soldier is next. The one that stayed with you.
What does the soldier have for belongings?
So he's got, we're calling it a rifle and a bayonet.
That's all he's got?
Yeah.
All right. He'll charge trying to run this thing through. I'll shout out, stab in the heart!
All right. So we'll go ahead and roll. I'm just going to roll from from a sheet from here. It'll miss as it lunges out. This thing is just too fast, darting around. But on the bright side, you are next to each other now, so we can say that you're going to get the gang up bonus, potentially with eyes as well. So that'll help. Okay. Something happens. You don't need to know about it. Then that one right next to you will go. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna shake. I think I was shaken, but I'm de-shaken. Actually, no, I wasn't because Ives I think missed. All right, there's 3 of you now. So 1, 2, Jack, 3, 4, Ives, 5, 6, the soldier. It'll be the first attack will be on the soldier. Second attack will be on Jack. First attack on the soldier is a 5. Soldier's got a 5 for parry. Second attack is on Jack. Also a 5. I'm rolling a lot of 5s. No, so it misses Jack, but I do hit the soldier.
No, 5. I have 5 parry, so it hit me.
Oh, it does it you? Okay. Dear God, I'm rolling so many Saurons tonight. It's 12. 13 points on the soldier. And 10 points on Jack. So, who would we want to say this follower was? Was it just a one of the hands, like one of the trail hands, one of the faceless, nameless trail hands?
Sure,
because they are
Private
now
Leroy Jenkins.
They are not
Give
just
him a
faceless.
name.
Yeah, give him a name.
What was the names in the chat? What were they? All I saw was Leroy Jenkins. Was that who we were talking about?
Robert Paulson?
Sure, Robert Paulson.
Well, Robert Paulson is no more, as that damage will be enough to rip through his 5 toughness. Okay, next up, Eustace. You're on the stairs with this one, fighting. You haven't done damage to it. It hasn't done damage to you. What do you want to do?
And realizing that I don't have any fire or a stake, I'm going to just try and... The first thing I can do to buy myself some time is to try and take his weapon away from him. And I'm going to... Having those steel plates under my bandages, I'm just going to try and, like, headbutt her right in the mouth to try and break its teeth.
All right. If that's... So we're going to call it a called shot. I think it's gonna have to be a called shot for this. So -4. But if you succeed, we'll say that you do in fact screw up its teeth, its fangs for now.
Okay. So
I love that idea though.
Well, I'm trying to get one loose. Thinking of my buddy Cuspid, but. All right. So fighting -4.
Yeah.
How many of them?
You've got one.
Boons do we have? We've got one? Okay, let's make the fighting -3.
All
Go
right.
for it.
Mm-hmm. There's a second explosion on the D4.
Very nice.
Hey.
Oh, that's not working. Okay, 2. So that's 10 minus
10.
3 is 7.
That's still a hit. 6 for parry.
Yay.
So you do in fact, as you headbutt, your metal plates just smash right into its mouth as it's opening its mouth to try to bite you in the neck, and you take advantage of it and just shove your forehead right into it, and you hear the crack in this like horrific blood-curdling scream as when you look back, the fangs have fallen down onto the steps, and it's bleeding out of its mouth. It still has claws, but it doesn't have its fangs anymore, so it can't bite you. Okay.
Nice.
And I'll tell you what, we'll make it shaken as well. I feel like it's fair to say that that's going to shake it, so we'll put it at shaken too. Okay. We go to Ives.
So I saw what Jack is trying to do with that stick of dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm going to try and hold that vampire down.
Okay, you want to
Keep
grapple?
him from... Yeah, I'm going to grapple.
Okay.
That's opposing athletics.
It is. It is.
So I get to roll a d6 on that.
Okay. I'll say you also have the benefit of there being 3 people around him, so you can take the gang up bonus. I'll say you take the gang up bonus for that, so you can have +2 to that.
All right. That gives me a 4.
Well, I rolled a 3. So as this thing is contending with Jack, and actually it would have just been +1 because the guy died, didn't he?
He
okay.
did.
Oh,
All right. So
yeah,
3
that's right.
versus 3.
You want to reroll?
Let's roll off. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
All right. So I get a +1 on that for the gang up. That gives me a 5.
I rolled a 2 the second time around. So you managed to tackle this thing. We'll say you you kind of got it, not so much tackled, but you have it entangled. Basically,
Yeah.
it's not bound, but you have him, and will make that. If it gets around to Jack again, if he tries to do it, it'll be fairly easy for him to jam the dynamite into its person.
All right.
Cuspid, this thing just turned to dust in front of you. You look at Anna. Her face is covered in these blisters.
Well, now that simply won't do. Just give me a moment, Anna. I assure you, everything's fine. Everything is completely fine. I'm just gonna.
The look on your face doesn't say fine. You looked at my face and you made a face. I don't.
It's not so much here or here even, but all through here is just fine. It's completely fine.
It's not. It's not fine. It's not fine. But you're gonna make it fine.
Of course I am. I'm gonna do. Basically, you see the, the little bronze dentures come out. They start crawling up you. He adds some of the extra tonic that you saw him use on the people in there. I'll spend the extra power point to try and deal with disease or illness.
Yeah. Oh no.
I think I'm going to PowerPoint that.
Oh no. You only get one shot at this.
I know. Oh.
You're gonna take care of this, right? I thought you were weird when I first met you, but seems like you got some training and some things, and you can.
Everything's going to be fine, Anna. Everything is going to be fine. We are going to watch the sunrise
here
together.
I'm guessing I should stay right here and not go out there.
No, we do not waste time. We continue to help the others for as long as we can, and we are going to watch the sunrise together.
Well, all right then. That's good. That's good to know. You make sure everybody else knows. Stake through the chest.
Well, you're going to show them, Anna. We're not done yet.
Anna, you feel exhausted. Like utterly and thoroughly exhausted. Like you are basically getting fueled by adrenaline, right? But now now that this creature is dust in front of you, Cuspid's face is giving you bad vibes, but you feel extraordinarily exhausted. So you're going to be subtracting 2 from all trait rolls until something else happens. We'll talk about what that is later. Okay, so then we'll start up a new round. Hey, look, you killed a vampire. You know, the dead soldier will go. I'll tell you what. You take another soldier. One of the other soldiers comes running back. And so you have another. You have another soldier. We'll call this one dead. So what do you want to do with your soldier there, Jack? You've got another one runs up into the fight like, I can't leave you, Scarlet Justice.
Stab him in the heart.
Okay.
I think I just turned to blood. Yeah, with him being restrained by Ives, I'm gonna stab him in the heart.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and give him like a +4 to this on this attack. with the guys of basically like a sitting duck. With a 4, that is a 9. That will in fact shake the guy, shake this vampire. So not only is he entangled, but he is also shaken, and that means he also, because he's entangled, will also be considered distracted. So he's got a lot of stuff going on. Then we'll go over to the next vampire. This is the one over by Eustace, without any teeth. So what this basically means is that it's not going to be able to bite you and necessarily infect with the pox. It's still going to be able to claw you, but...
that's already been done.
Yeah, damage-wise, it's still the same.
Yeah.
But at least he won't be able to do it to other people. So I will, again, do the same thing to Cuspid. 7 on the first attack and a 1 on the second. The 7
Well, it gets me at the first one.
Okay. So let me roll some damage. That's an exploder on the D4.
Yes.
16 points of damage.
Oh, that'll get me. So I'm at 11.
Okay, so that's
toughness.
So 11 is shaken. 15 would be a wound.
All right, so if that's 16, then I'm probably going to want to soak that then.
So we're taking 1 wound currently. So you can Benny and roll a vigor to try to soak.
How bad is 1 wound?
So one of the things we should do for now is like you two are actually exhausted, by the way, which means you will be taking -2 on your trait rolls. So roll. You can roll vigor, but make sure you roll it at a -2.
Okay.
I should have been doing that before, but I'm not going to go back. Like
That's all right. Yeah. So with this vigor test, you roll your trait and D6, right? For soaking.
Yeah.
All right.
You roll whatever your vigor die is. You roll a D6. Whichever one's better, subtract 2.
All right. I got a 2.
Okay. So you will take a wound. If that's the case, you will be shaken. Yep. Second attack does not hit you. It's just the one. So you're okay. All right. Now we go to the one that's entangled, shaken, distracted, and fails is shaken too. So I'm going to say between Jack and Ives and the soldier, you've got this one pinned down pretty fierce. And so it's going to, lash out, but it's unable to kind of break free from Ives's hold on things. We're going to kick over then to Anna in the tent. Anna, you're not feeling so good. You're actually feeling very bad, in fact. Cuspid tried to do something. You don't feel better. You have a bloody stake in your hand. You hear the sounds of panic outside, and you've heard gunshots. What would you like to do, Anna?
Can Anna just sort of sit herself down and just kind of break this chest into like a few different stakes just to hand over to Cuspid, just to kind of arm folks with something useful?
Absolutely, you can.
So that's what Anna's just like, Doctor, I don't know how much I got left in me, but this worked real well. So let's see if we can help
it's been a long day. And in fairness, you do twice the work of anybody else here. So it's perfectly normal. I imagine you're probably going to turn at least 3 more of these things to dust before sunrise.
Jeff, do I feel up to leaving the tent, or do I feel like just sitting down?
Yeah, I mean, you're tired, but at the same time, you just killed a freaking vampire. Like your physical body might be tired, but like the momentum, the adrenaline is still sort of coursing through your veins. So yeah, you can absolutely. You should go fuck them up. You got all these stakes. You got 4 plus the one you have in your hand.
Okay.
I know it's hard, but your friends need you. And clearly, if anybody knows how to handle this, it's you.
All right, so then Anna will get up. I mean, I'm assuming that's enough to do in her turn. She kind of makes a bunch of stakes, gets up, and goes outside the tent.
Okay. We'll kick over to Jack then, who is outside the tent.
I am going to look at Ives and say, light it and get away. And I'm going to take the dynamite and stick it into this thing. I don't know if I can jam it into its body or into a pocket or what.
Yeah, we'll say you're able to. I mean, you guys have this guy distracted. You have him entangled. You have him shaken. This guy is pretty well pinned. So I will say you absolutely take the dynamite and you jam it. Maybe I think there was a bullet hole that Ives had.
I
Didn't really
shot
do any
him, yeah.
damage. So
All
you
right.
just shove it right into the bullet
Right
hole.
in there, and I'll
Yeah.
tell Ives to light it and run away. And then I want to grab my soldier and just leave, just run away as far as possible.
Okay. Soldier's already gone, so all I'll say is roll an athletics test to see if you can
Athletics?
drag him
Okay.
away. Yeah. Let's see how far you can get away.
I'll spin a Benny.
Okay. Hey Eric, how's it going? Things are interesting right now.
It's a 4. Was I able to grab him
you
and pull away?
I'll say you're able to pull each other kind of at least a full round of pace away. The dynamite, depending, we'll check the radius in a second. I think it's a medium blast radius, but I think you can, as long as it doesn't move, I think you're probably okay.
So I'll take him and just like dive to the ground and kind of like throw him to the ground also. So we just like are laying flat when this thing blows.
Okay, sounds good. We'll go over to Eustace. Eustace, you headbutted the vampire's teeth out, which is a really fun sentence to say. You just rolled to unshake, so you're good to unshake, and you can take your turn. You are wounded, and you are exhausted. So I think that's a cumulative -3 to your rolls between the two.
Yeah,
But you're alive.
I am alive. Taking one of his weapons. So I'm going to take that ghost knife,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to try and grab this thing's wrist and stab through its forearm
Okay.
to try and cut off its other hand.
Okay, you just wanted. Okay, I love it. We'll do another called attack. So I think there's -2 on the hit, but I'm gonna say you're gonna need to basically get a raise on damage to
Okay.
say cut his full wrist off. So just a -2 for the called shot, and then damage wise, if you do enough damage, we'll say you flat out cut it off.
All right, let's see what happens. -2. Oh, and there's an explosion thanks to these Norse Foundry dice. That's
so
2, so
smooth,
that's
this guy.
yeah, that's
So
10.
smooth.
-2 is 8.
Okay, 8's still a hit. It's not a race, but it's a hit.
Yeah.
So go ahead and roll
All right.
damage. You're gonna need a lot. These are tough.
They're tough.
They're pretty tough.
All right. So that was strength plus D4 plus 2 for that thing, Dr. Cuspid.
I think that's right. +2 for your Bowie knife, you said?
Yeah.
So
Well,
strength,
yeah.
your strength die, D4, and then a +2.
All right.
Roll well.
I am. All right. So that's 14.
Dude, toughness 10, 14 is a raise on his toughness. You cut its hand off. You cut one of its hands off. It has one claw.
I took his weapons.
You took
Both
his
of them.
teeth. You took his fangs. You took one of his claws. He's still got one other claw, but you have taken 2 of its 3 attacks. Beautiful, man. It's so good. Through the exhaustion, through the pain, Cuspid, it comes back to you. Anna, did you leave the tent, or are you still in the tent?
It went outside the tent, yeah.
Yeah, we'll deal with that in a second. Go ahead there, Cuspid.
Well, I'm following with Miss Anna, and although I will say otherwise to her, I am quite worried this is her last hurrah. But because it is, and because I deeply respect Miss Anna, I want to make sure that she has every chance to show her best. So I'm going to, well, I haven't done this previously. This may seem a bit awkward, but you'll see the ring, he'll pull upon the bow tie, the Bluetooth harmonium will begin. But instead of the normal cacophony of teeth that surround you, actually see what looks like a swirling diadem around your head, and just one lone wolf tooth will poke itself into your forehead and also upon him. And you will find that for a brief moment, you lose your traditional vision until all of a sudden you are instead receiving all information through the tooth, because eyes lie to you. They send you false inverted images. When you see through the tooth, you see the truth of the world, and you will find yourself able to see things with greater effect, with an enhanced vision and reflexes. And largely what this will equate to is the warrior's gift. if I can make the roll. So I'll roll that. I'll roll for an extra first, and then we'll see if I actually make it before I get too into it.
Before you get too into it, that description was pretty into it.
It was.
Eyes are on deck.
Sorry, I'm trying to get it to. It doesn't have weird signs. I'm just going to roll weird signs from my page.
Sure.
For some reason on my powers page, it didn't have it linked. Sorry. Okay.
6 is good.
So what that'll do is both of us gets to choose any combat edge we want. A really nice one might be trademark weapon for our stakes, which would both give us a +1 to attack and a +1 to our parry.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. So the two of you step out of the tent. You can see everyone's starting to panic a little bit as like there's gunfire that's happening. You hear someone say, What the hell is that? As they're pointing up towards the southwest section of the fort, where the you can see that the rickety wooden staircase goes up to that walkway. And I'll say, Cuspid and Anna, you see Eustace is up there fighting with one of these things. So you see that now, but you also see that people are starting to freak out. And so there's some of these normal settler types who are like, get the hell out of here! And they're all running for like the different wagon breaks in the wall. And they're like kind of some of them are hiding, some of them are running, but there's definitely panic that's starting to set in. And then when Anna steps out, her face covered in pox, blood just sort of pouring out of some of these popping blisters. They start to freak out even more. Yeah, get away! And there's a bit of a commotion now that's happening within the fort itself. Okay. Okay, next up. Something happens. And this time you actually see it as Eustace. As you're fighting this thing, and you've managed to just you've used Cuspid's Bowie knife to cut its hand off, you've headbutted away its fangs. All of a sudden, you hear the sound of like flapping wings, not like heavy leathery flapping, but just like quick flapping wings, almost like a bird. And then you notice it is in fact this black raven just swoops down out of the night, and you can see that it's kind of sweeping right into your face, and it's screeching at you, and it's fluttering back and forth in front of your face, kind of pecking at your eyes, scratching at your face here and there, just moving left and right.
You don't want to do that.
I'll tell you this. Roll a notice test. You can take +2 on it for this.
So with my wounds and exhaustion, it'd be -1 and all that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I don't remember. Okay. Notice -1. Got it. That'd be a 3.
Okay. So when it's like squawking in front of you and kind of poking at your eyes, like there's something about the eyes of this raven as it's looking back at you. It's got the eyes themselves, like they don't look like the glassy black eyes like a raven might have. There's recognition in there. You can't place exactly what it is, but there's something about the raven that seems familiar to you. And just as it looks like it's about to just stab one of its sort of beaks, or not one of its beaks into your eyes, it just kind of hovers for a moment, and then it's just taking this moment to just do this deathly stare at you, and then begins to start getting in your way once more. So you're going to be essentially distracted, sort of. You're going to have a -2 to basically an additional penalty. I'm sorry, on top of all the others, as this thing is now harassing you.
Don't bother me. Nevermore.
Ives.
Yeah.
So Jack just pulled his soldier friend away. This thing's reaching around to its back where the exit wound is, where Jack shoved the dynamite into its back, and it's trying to pull it out. You can tell it knows. You take a shot. It's going to be a called shot, so you're going to have a penalty. Because it's torso. What's a torso, Jeremy? Is that just -2?
Usually just 2.
Yeah, so it's going to be a -2 on your shot, Ives. Assuming you'll probably take a couple steps back before you shoot and then fire.
What if I don't take a couple steps back?
You just want to stay up right next to it?
Like I've got this thing grappled already. What if I just swing one of my guns around and just shoot the stick?
I'll tell you what. You do that. There's going to be no penalty to the roll. You do have to hit its parry, which is higher. However, it is distracted. So I think, trying to remember.
Say for it being
would give you
entangled,
plus
I get
2.
a minus. Yeah.
Yeah. So some weird, because a distracted, it would give you a plus 2 again. Oh, no, wait, no. Distracted would be -2 on its attacks. Vulnerable would be +2. It's not vulnerable. So I'll tell you what. Roll it flat, because it sounds like fun, and you're going to take some damage. Possibly a lot. So we'll see how it goes.
That's what I'll do. Do we got any of them audience bennies left?
We
Or
do not.
boost? Okay. So my first shot is a 4.
Okay. 4 is not going to hit. So you need it's got a parry of 6. So you need to get a 6.
We got 2 more from Ashley.
All right,
Thank you,
I'm going to
Ashley.
use those. My second shot, I'll use that, get a +2. That's a 6, so that's an explosion.
That will hit.
And that's a 3, so it's a 9 plus those 2. 11.
Okay. Chuck,
Yeah.
you absolutely hit the dynamite. It absolutely explodes.
Yeah.
Dawson, you and your trail hand friend dive to the ground as a massive explosion occurs. And don't worry, Vampire is destroyed. You've blown it up from the inside. As I learned from Armageddon, when you blow a firecracker up from inside a closed fist, it's way worse. However, and I'm using stats from some other dynamite that's in the blood drive, because this is not the nicest of dynamite. This is kind of leaking liquid nitrogen kind of dynamite. It's going to deal 4d6 plus 12 damage.
Okay. Okay.
Oh God.
And that includes you. So
What?
I can tank this.
it's 8 on the first 2. That's 9. That's a 6. It's 15. 18 plus 12. That's 30
Oh my
points of
gosh.
damage, Chuck.
So my toughness is a 5.
Oh God.
And I'm out of bennies.
Oh,
I mean, but it looked really cool.
It did.
I will,
That was
because of how
badass.
cool it was, I will 100% give you a Benny just for how cool that was and staying in there. I will give you that. And I also think 30 damage is... I'll give you a wing and a prayer on it, for sure. If you want to take
Okay.
a free print.
That's a bigger test, right?
It is a bigger test.
And we have 3 additions if you wanted like a +2.
Just
To the
roll
result.
like a 30
No.
or something.
Sure.
Oh, God.
Okay. That's a with that +2. That's a 7.
It's a 7. Okay, so what's your toughness? You said 5?
5.
Well, 5 shakes you. 9 is one wound. 13 is the second wound. 17 is a third wound. 21 is a fourth wound. 25 is a fifth wound. And 29 is a sixth wound. So you're shaken with 6 wounds. That 7 will take it down to 5 wounds. So
I am so happy that I took that trait that gives me a max of 13 wounds.
oh, really? Nice. Oh, God. All right. So I did, like I said, bookmark in my book the damage stuff. You are most certainly incapacitated. I'm going to say, oh, my God.
I am totally cool if we want to say that Ives is just splatted on the wall.
If you're cool with it, I'm cool with it.
Ives needed to go.
Okay. Jack, you look back You see Ives is tangling, and he never steps away. He holds the gun up right against where the dynamite was, pulls the trigger, and you just watch as the two of them go up in this cloud of gore and fire. And when the dust settles, there are pieces of both of them scattered everywhere to the point where you're uncertain. Ives, did you say anything before like if you like, did you look at Jack and say something maybe?
I look at Jack right in the eyes. Kill Timmy before he turns out like me.
And then
I have to go kill a kid after this.
Oh.
well done, Chuck.
Oh.
Well done. Okay, hang on, let me just go ahead and
Ranks right up there with being Captain Sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, that was such a good line. That's still talked about to this day. Okay, something else happens. You don't need to know. Go to the top.
Ashley, you are right. Jack Dawson is definitely Scarlet now.
Okay. The Raven continues to hack away at your face, Eustace. Then something happens off screen. You don't need to know about. And then Soldier and Jack, you just watch Ives kill a vampire, but also blow himself up. Jack, you also hear, you have I think a D6 for notice, so I'm just going to give this to you for free. You hear screams coming from the Lazy S camp. You hear the sounds of what you think is the Reverend screaming for help. And you kind of look southward towards where they're camped, and you can see that a ways away, there's light over by the camp. So you can see this. The Reverend is like fending off what looks like another one of these creatures. And he shouts out, "It's got one of the boys! Help!" And that's what you hear. What would you like to do?
Yeah, Jack, when he sees Ives blow, he just says, "No!" And he kind of is like looking and just clawing at the blood and the guts everywhere, hoping, but knows that Ives in there, but hoping maybe he somehow survives. He is covered in blood and guts at this point. And he looks to his remaining followers and he says, "Men, we have to go protect the camp." And he whistles for Gretzky. I don't know if he arrives.
Hell yeah. Gretzky, of course, arrives dutifully. And the other guys who are running away are like, and they tentatively like, yeah, okay, Jack. As their hands are shaking. They look back.
He's just going to charge.
Okay.
Yeah. Charge the Lazy S.
Okay, so you charge over to where the Lazy S is encamped. You see the wagon. The Reverend is standing atop in the back, and you can tell that the wagon itself has taken some damage, and he's kind of like, he's got like a cross out, and he's kind of holding it up, and he's trying to throw what looks like water on the creature. And then you can see in the back of the wagon, basically he's standing over top of one of the boys. You can't make out which one it is, whether it's Franklin or little Timmy, but one of them you can see is like the Reverend is trying to defend himself, but the Reverend is like covered in blood. You can see he's got little pustules themselves. He has been trying to defend these boys, and you are here. And because I don't want to wait a whole nother round, take an action, please. It's not
okay. I'm gonna ask, do you have any more of that holy water before I take an action?
And he does. You can see he's got like this small little flask of it.
Okay, I need it.
Okay.
I'll say that, and then I'll shoot in the meantime, because I don't think I can use it this round, I'm assuming.
No, go ahead. We'll say... Okay, so the holy water itself, really it's just fatiguing them. Like, you would have to fully submerge a vampire to actually kill it in holy water, but it is like slowing them down considerably. So you can tell like it's like every time the sprinkles come onto the body, there's like a little kind of comes out. So it does seem to be holding them. And the symbol itself, he keeps holding up this mighty cross, and it does seem to be kind of keeping the vampire somewhat at bay as it's trying to do things. But if you want, I'll say, yeah, he'll throw some of the holy water in your direction for sure.
Is there like fire or wood or anything nearby I could utilize?
There's a lantern nearby. There's light over here. You're basically in part of the camp for your drive. So you can see that there is right near the wagon there on a pole there is a lantern hanging.
But if I throw a lantern, it'll be on the wagon with the other people. Yeah, that's not good.
They might have time to get off.
Might.
I mean, we'll see where they come up.
Okay, yeah, let's go for it. Let's make that play then. Let's grab the lantern and throw it at this thing.
Okay, go ahead and roll that athletics test. Let me know how you did. I'm looking
9.
something up. Okay, I'll say roll. We'll roll that with raise. So we'll call it a D6. So D6 plus a D6 for a raise. So roll 2 D6.
Why did that not roll?
I thought Chuck might want to play Little Timmy. But no. Chuck wants to kill Little Timmy.
Listen, I'm not making little Timmy right now at all.
Are you really?
You made me a backup Ives sheet a while ago. And
Oh, did I really? I know. I've almost got, like, Ives is the only one I've really almost got. I got a
little
couple.
Timmy may or may not have the hindrances bloodthirsty and curious.
Not rolling.
Oh, man.
Give me a minute here.
Okay.
Break
You want me
out
to
the
roll it
physical
for you,
dice like
or-
everybody else.
Okay, yeah.
It's not working in game. 8 total.
8 total. Okay.
Yeah.
8 total. So the cool thing with fire is that fire does do normal damage. Do you want to re-roll? You want Benny to re-roll any of that?
Yeah, sure.
Because they
Use
are
one of my
tough.
bennies.
They are pretty tough. They have high toughness. Oh, God. All of your dice are now rolling.
Oh!
You just add that all up and...
All right, let's try this in game again. It's not working. Oh, there they are. 8 again. 8 it is.
Like, again, the fire coats... I was trying to actually find, like, actual damage for fire, but I couldn't really find anything. So that's why I was just throwing a D6 out. But I'm looking at their fire, like, their toughness, like... I'll say this, like, you swing out with the lantern, and you certainly catch them on fire. But doesn't look like they've been defeated. They're still going, effectively, is what's happening. They're still going, but they're not dead. But he is caught on fire. Let's just put it that way for now. So that was Jack and the soldier. Anna, you see a cross on the other side of the fort. You can see Eustace is fighting with one of these things, and now a bird or something like that, a bat, you're not sure, is just like harassing him in the eyes. What do you want to do, Anna?
Yeah, so Anna is going to take off running
Okay.
to the extent that she is capable of doing so, across over to...
I'll say if you expend 2, if you just use your action to run, you can get there and then have -2 on your attack if you wanted to try to attack with the wood stake.
I would like to do that.
Okay. So Eustace is already there, so you can go ahead and essentially it'll be a -1. The Raven is really just there as like a debuff for Eustace as opposed to like an actual creature for gang up. I'm not counting it towards gang up.
Stay back, Anna. This one's got me in a bad way.
No, I got it.
And are you doing this stake through the heart?
I am doing the stake through the heart thing. I did this already once. I can do this again.
Oh, you
So
Can
-5
Because of the-
total.
trademark weapon,
get a +1 to hit.
it's +1 to hit. I have a -2 for all trait rolls
You're at a
because
-4. I'm pretty sure. Well, it's -4 for the to the cult shot.
okay, and we've got a boost left, so that brings me to a -3.
Okay.
You can do it.
You got it.
And
You
this
got this.
is a fighting, so it's D6s.
And I'll tell you right now, the parry is 6. You do have to hit a 6.
You can do it.
That's an explode. That's a. So I rolled a 10.
-3.
So-
It's a 7. That's a hit.
Yep.
Okay. So roll your damage. I have to roll a vigor test, and we compare. And if I fail, it turns into dust. If I succeed, I just take damage.
Actually, it was an 8 because I had the. No, never mind. We already did that. Never mind.
Yeah, we already did mine.
Damage is just 1d6, right?
What do we do for stake?
Plus strength. So 2d6.
Plus your strength. Yeah.
Yep. Huh. That's a 5.
Okay. You jam the stake right into its back as you see it kind of lunging with this one arm. Like you can see it's bleeding this black jelly out of a missing hand. It's just wrist is just flopping stuff onto the steps. And as it lunges towards Eustace, you run up behind it and you thrust the wooden stake in through the back, right where the heart should be. And as you do, the thing and then turns into dust. As I rolled a 4, and it falls to the ground, dust kind of scattering left and right. And Eustace, you're left sort of with this raven moving around in your face. However, as this thing lunged at Eustace, you notice like it didn't quite hit Eustace, but this stray claw that just tried to kind of reach out at Eustace claws through the raven, actually. And you hear the raven kind of squawk out in pain. And as Anna is like stabbing into it, the left arm with the missing hand, this jelly is flying all over the place, blood coming out of its wrist. It coats Eustace. Anna, you get some on you. The raven you can see also gets some on right where that claw went through. And you can see the raven's kind of fluttering around and having difficulty actually at this point flying. Okay, so that's another one of these vampires out. So you've got 3 down.
At what cost?
Sorry, I don't know that one. Let me delete.
Oh.
That. Don't worry about that. It's not supposed to be rolling because they're not even in the combat anymore. There's only one more in the combat, and that is the one that is that you guys don't even know about currently because Jack is dealing with it. However, all of you did hear the sounds of a massive explosion of dynamite from the eastern side of the fort. When you look over, you can see the eastern wall is collapsing inward from the explosion of the dynamite, which is right outside the wall, and it's flopping. Like you can see all sorts of stuff's flopping down onto the ground. Everyone's screaming. They're hopping over the wagons. They're running off into the darkness where the Sioux are surrounding this fort, but you did kill 3 vampires. A full-on crazy panic, however, is happening. I would say the 3 of you can see each other. So Cuspid, Anna, and Eustace, you all see each other, but you're not sure where Jack and Eyes are. Eustace, it is your turn. Actually, I'm sorry. Cuspid, it's your turn. I skipped you. My bad.
So is Eustace also displaying the similar like abrupt eruption of pustules and
rapid onset smallpox?
I'm not feeling quite as sure of myself as I normally would, but it doesn't give me the excuse not to try.
Hey,
okay.
Hey, Cuspid, I got you something. As I hold out the teeth of the vampire.
Nice.
Oh, you are just a gentleman and a scholar in a fashion.
I figured it'd come in useful. As I just kind of slump down on my knees.
I really hope I make this. Okay, and I did spend the extra power point for it to affect diseases or whatever.
Okay, and you passed?
Mm-hmm. So one wound, and I'm sure the disease doesn't just immediately snap away.
No, but you do see it as your. Is it your teeth that are? Is it the teeth that are kind of starting?
It's those like mechanical dentures that kind of come crawling up, and they've got like they bite surgical staples into you, and they inject some sort of like anti-plague serum into you.
You're seeing that like as it sort of stitches through his face and getting through the blisters, like. They're restitching, and the blisters don't seem to be regrowing. When it was with Anna, like you remove them, you kind of carve them out, and the tissue was kind of getting ripped up. But then Anna would immediately manifest more, and it was just like this rapid. Even looking over at Anna now, like her face has twice as many as it was when you were in the tent. You can see it on her hands as well. It's just it won't stop.
So Right. That's it for Cuspid's turn. Is that? Sorry,
I
I jumped the
suppose
gun
so.
there.
Other than, if there's someplace obvious to move towards, I will. But I imagine that's probably the majority of the turn is to get to Eustace
To
and
get
do
to you.
that.
And then, yeah. So I'll say all the three of you are on the stairs next to the front gate, which has been pushed open, and you can see many of the settlers are running, panicked and scared, into the direction of the herd. I'll say all three of you can go ahead and roll a notice test to see if you can hear the sounds of like Archer and screaming Reverend Archer and screaming coming from the lazy.
So what all penalties do I have now?
You can take the exhausted off, the -2. You can take that -2 from the exhausted. Everything else, like your wounds and stuff, should still hold.
Well, he did heal me for 1.
Oh, he did. Okay, then
Yeah.
you should be fine then.
Okay, dead even. All right.
Failed with the 2.
Okay.
3.
5.
Cuspid, you do hear the sounds of Reverend Archer screaming. You can hear his voice. It's just somehow cutting through all of the different voices. You just hear, like, it's going after the boys! Help!
Dear God, they're going after the children.
Eustace, it is your turn.
All right. So when he says they're going after the children, Eustace, noticing that Anna's suffering from the same thing, he'll just turn to Cuspid and be like, all right, now take care of Anna. I got to go save the others. And he like runs off.
Yeah. So you run down, you kind of push yourself into this throng of people that are running out. There's about 3 dozen, around 30 or so settlers, and they're all kind of scattering in different directions. So you have like a handful, maybe a half or a dozen. They're trying to run out the front gate, and you just kind of bump into them as you run out. And we'll say you can get kind of like most of the way there if you have something you want to throw, or if you just want to take like a bigger penalty on it. I'll say you can just run all the way and catch up to Jack. But
Can
you can
I
see.
have given him one of the stakes since we were
that's
all
fine.
in the same place?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
And so I'll say, Eustace, as you're running, you can see that Jack is there. You're watching him as he's throwing the lantern. The lantern explodes on top of one of these vampires that's kind of standing up on the wagon and is fighting right on head to head with Reverend Archer, who's holding up this cross to try to defend himself. Little flakes of fire are starting to light up the Reverend's wagon, which, by the way, is filled with a lot of jars of gin. So there's that as well to consider. But I'll say, Eustace, if you want, because you're coming from a pretty far way away, if you want to continue acting, you can take like a -3 on whatever action you want to take.
Okay.
So that you can do this round.
Yeah, Eustace will do that. He'll come charging up, and he'll sort of leap towards the vampire and hold the stake, and he's got his like handlebar biker beard like all flapping in the wind as he's flowing through, and he's going to try and land on the vampire to like take it off of the
Okay, you
wagon.
just tackle him off. You're just going to leap up and try and tackle him off. That sounds great.
That way later he can try and stake him.
Yeah. Roll either athletics or fighting, whichever you prefer is fine. I don't want to penalize you for it. It sounds cool.
So what was the penalty for doing this round?
-3, just because it took you so long to run there.
Okay. All right.
You're a little further away than Jack.
Okay, how many bennies do I got? I got 2, so I may need that later, but let's go ahead and use it. 7 minus 3 is 4.
Okay, it is against its parry.
Yeah.
So did you already Benny to reroll?
Yeah.
Okay, so you jump up, you try to tackle it, and you just smash right into it, and you stumble around a bit on the wagon, but it does not fall off the wagon. But you are right up here, like on the where the driver would be, are kind of fighting there, whereas the Reverend, and you look down, you can see one of the boys that the Reverend standing over top of. They're in the back of the wagon. Jack is right next to the wagon, having just thrown this lantern, and so there's fire starting to flame up here and there, and then there's a handful of these other trail hands that are following Jack that are trying to do something about this. So that's the end of that.
Fire out. That's all
Okay.
he says.
I'm going to... All right, got to draw a new card for Jack. Jack, you're going to get a 10 of diamonds. It's the best. I'm going to spend a Benny as well to draw something. Okay. All right. So, the vampire is going to go first. The vampire is on fire. It's got, right now, Eustace right in front of it. It's got the Reverend that's in the wagon. Eustace is the most immediate person next to him. Jack's on the ground. I think it's just going to attack Eustace. So it'll do its frenzy onto you, Eustace, as well. 5.
Nope, it's got to be 6.
Miss on the first and a 1 on the second. So, like,
Yay.
the fire is harassing it. It's getting in its eyes. It's harder to see. It's not quite able to do it. Cuspid, you're next. You noticed as Eustace was, like, as you were healing Eustace, like, all sorts of these scratches and like, kind of beaks were, you know, like, these peck marks that seemed inconsistent with the type of damage that the vampire was doing. And as you look up, you see kind of flapping away into the sky. You can see this bird. Roll a notice test.
I mean, I already half assume this is Tosair, but
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's like you're definitely getting that feeling. I will say, so you didn't pass, so I won't give you the extra bit of information. But yeah, I mean, your gut feels, you know, like you think this is Tosair as it's flying away into the darkness. But you can tell that it's struggling for some reason. It's like coated in that blood. And it seems like it's wounded, like he's wounded in some way. So if it is Tosair, then it got more that it bargained for in the fight, basically.
I have to say that vampire is surrounded, and one of my traits may be that I am vengeful, and I deeply dislike that man. And well, you know, my whip can reach a range of 16, along with whatever other movement I could conjure.
Sure.
And while it's floundering, maybe it's just an injured bird, or maybe it is him, but I feel it's worth putting it down if I can.
Absolutely, you can certainly roll for it.
Okay. I'll give it a go. To you, we'll put in an extra PowerPoint, because if it does hit, it might be the only chance. A 4?
I mean, it's a weird science roll, so it's successful. So it's a ranged attack. So
that'll be 3d6 plus 1.
Mm-hmm. So tense.
I know.
11?
11 will damage him for sure. It will not kill him, however. It is not enough to take him out. But as you strike out with the whip, you can see like a burst of blood, and that strange like black jelly gore from these vampires erupts from it. Feathers. You hear it squawk in pain, and he continues to fly away. But 11 is not to take him out. Is not enough to take him out. I'll let him go. Okay.
That might be worth. You know what? Screw it. I'm vengeful. I'll spend the Benny to try. It's worth trying to kill him.
Okay.
So I'll spend the Benny.
All right.
Sorry, I've got to manually do that real quick. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. Come on.
Oh,
God, even worse.
Even worse. So
that's how it happened last time too. I just
wounded, limping. It's still kind of fluttering off into the night, but it's not going away without significant pain. All right, we come back to Jack over by the wagon. Eustace has just appeared, has leapt onto the wagon, and is now, you know, kind of scrapping with this on fire vampire. What would you like to do, Jack? You also notice Eustace holding a wooden stake or something in his hand.
Can I walk up as they're struggling and just kind of take Eustace's hand that's holding the stake and then force it or drive it towards the heart while he's still holding it? Just guide it in there.
Absolutely. I'll give you a +2 for this because this is cool and you guys are outnumbering him, plus Reverend's there as well. So it's a 3-1 on top of the wagon.
Oh, hey, Jack.
10 is a hit. So go ahead and you're gonna roll damage D6 plus another D6 plus a raised D6, and I'm also gonna give you a 4th D6 from the fire. So roll 4d6.
Oh, wow.
No pressure.
I still get a chance to. It's against its vig. I
There
get to
should
do
be a
vigor
raise on one of
test.
those 6s, right?
Yeah, it should have
yeah.
been.
One more. Got to beat a 16. I do not. I roll a 5. So describe. So it's going to eventually turn into dust at the very end of this. But describe how you and Eustace take this thing out.
Sure. So Eustace is like struggling with it. Jack just walks up behind him, grabs Eustace's hand, and slowly just plunges the stake into this remaining vampire's heart. He's dripping with blood. He's got bits of Ives all over him still. Eustace says, "Hey, Jack." He doesn't even look. He just keeps driving this thing in until it just crumbles to dust at their feet.
Mm-hmm. And you quickly can pad out the bits of fire here that would before the wagon kind of catches too much fire. And as you look around, you hear the panic shouts of people. You can see that there are like folks that are currently being like in the distance, like their hands are up in the shadows. Like you can kind of see the moonlight coming down as like these groups of Sioux soldiers are kind of off in the distance, and they're like not letting them move. A couple folks are just laying in the ground. Some folks have their hands in their heads. Some are pleading in the distance. We'll say, just because it's getting late and I want to wrap this up more interestingly, Cuspid, Anna, you come out. You see Jack. You see Eustace. Anna, you're feeling horrific. All of you look at Anna, and you can barely even see her eyes anymore, as she's just kind of become so overwhelmed with this. Eustace, you're looking better, but you're still feeling fairly tired. But I think Cuspid, you would know that Eustace is probably on the mend. It might take him a day or two to fully recuperate, and some of those cuts and scars to heal. And he might even actually have some scars, but otherwise you think he's okay. You don't feel as good about Anna. And then as you guys look around, you realize you don't see Ives. So what happens?
Cuspid, I said you could take care of Anna now. The danger's over.
Eustace, he tried. He
Well,
did. He did his
you-
best.
Did you use the vampire teeth? I got you the vampire teeth.
You did.
Well, come on now. You use the vampire teeth.
I'm terribly sorry to tell you, Eustace, but I have a history of failing when it matters. I tried. But
What you mean you tried?
Eustace.
She still got them pox marks. I can't say that you tried. I mean, you haven't even started.
Eustace, he, Doc, he did the best he could, but I had to get in close and I had to test this whole stake theory, and it just didn't go well.
What do you mean? You had to do testing. That's why you got me around. You let me do testing.
I know.
You have to go in there.
But Anna, I mean, it's clear, like, you are a hero through and through. To be honest, I would say you nearly put Jack to shame. Like, he's got a badge, but you just do it because it's who you are. And
Yeah.
God's blessed, I admire you.
Don't leave me. I don't know what I can't do this on my own.
Well, let's not anybody do anything on our own. Let's I see a nice ridge over there, and I do believe that with that hill in the backdrop, it would make for a fine sunrise. And I think it would just be delightful for some friends to sit together and share the sunrise. Wouldn't you agree, Eustace?
Let's get Ives.
Speaking of friends, yeah, Jack, where is Ives?
Jack's just hanging his head. He won't even look at you. I've sacrificed his life for the rest of you.
Mhm.
He's gone.
What do you mean sacrifice? Did he stake somebody through the heart too? And
That explosion you heard, that was Ives.
Oh hell!
that hot-headed dumbass of a man, what did he go and do that for?
If you excuse me, I have a promise to keep to a dead man. And Jack just walks away.
Walks off into
For
the
Timmy.
darkness.
Yeah.
You see, walking past Jack coming up, you see Devil Eyes just trotting up, its head kind of down, cast a little bit as it comes right up to you, Anna.
And Anna will kind of put her hand up and just kind of rub kind of Devil Eyes' nose between the eyes. Doc, you do fine work. I gotta admit, when I first met you, I thought you were a lunatic. And I have come to appreciate all of the doctrine that you do. And I think you can't always heal everyone, but you always give it your best shot. You should keep doing that. Eustace, we're not on our own anymore. We've had to look out for each other for a long time.
No, you can make it. You can make it. Just carry through. God.
Don't think I can.
You can.
We're gonna go. Doc's got a great idea. Let's go.
We're gonna go, but then we're gonna walk down from that hill, and fuck.
Sure.
Of course we will,
Let's go.
Eustace. Of course we will.
So, the three of you start heading off towards this hill. It's not yet sunrise. You notice that some of the Sioux groups are kind of pushing back the settlers towards the fort. You see Bill Sutter. You see Anna. You see Abby. They're moving out. They kind of look over towards you, and they quickly piece together what's happening. They look at Anna, and you can see Abby's eyes go wide. And Bill gives Eustace and Cuspid kind of a curt nod, and kind of takes his hat off and kind of holds it to his heart as he looks over at Anna. You see a couple of the other folks, Francesca and others, kind of as they're watching Anna, who's, we'll say, is on top of Devil Eyes, but you can see is kind of struggling maybe to hold, to stay on the horse, but Devil Eyes is kind of doing all the work. And you kind of go up on top of this hill, not too far away from the fort. The Sioux seem to kind of give you some space. You even see as some of them look like they're starting to get close to small patrol. You can see Bill and Luke quickly just sort of run out, and they kind of start waving their hands. For the first time in a while, you see a couple of the Sioux actually come up and start having a conversation, but you're not really paying too much attention. It's happening off in the background. And you kind of come up onto the hill and just sort of wait, and you look out this beautiful pastures in front of you. Very, very dark. We're going to cut for a second as we go over back to the camp. Jack, you wandered off into the darkness. You go over and you check the wagon, and you see that the boy that was attacked was Franklin. It was the one who had the cows, the friendly cows. Reverend's kind of looking around. He's like, "Where? I lost Timmy. He ran. He ran when they came. I told him to run, but he ran, and he started. I don't know where he went. He was cackling with." You're kind of looking around, Jack, and what do you want to do, Jack?
I want to use my tracking or my survival to try and find him.
Okay. Go roll a survivor test. Okay.
Ooh, 3.
So, it takes you a lot longer than it probably should. It's a little kid. There's a lot of different tracks in the ground. The cattle, people panicking, horses, etc. And so you're kind of moving around for an hour or two. But eventually you do find him off in the herd. You can see that a lot of the cattle have kind of spread out, and he's got this little kind of clearing in here. No one's around. He's all by himself. And you're moving up in between the cattle. You can see his back. Light's starting to just briefly come up on the sunrise. And you can see he's kind of sort of messing around with something in the ground. You can't quite see it as he's got his back to you. What do you want to do?
I call out to him. Timmy, I need to see you.
He looks up and you can see he's got like this guilty look on his face. Yeah, what can I do for you, Mr. Jack? And he kind of clutches something to his chest, like he's like hiding something.
What do you got there, boy?
Yeah, I ain't got nothing. I was just playing with some grass and such. That's all. I wouldn't do nothing.
Don't fib.
Kind of looks up at you. That ain't nothing. And he kind of holds his hands out. And you see one of those dolls that you all found in that haunted homestead. And you can tell it's the one that's Ives. And you can tell it's been ripped to shreds. Like just arms plucked off of the base, head ripped off, everything kind of torn up, and it's just like 100 little pieces. But you can see like the dye that was used to sort of signify, Jack's like kind of the bluish shirt and the red bandana and everything. And you can tell it was him, but it's ripped into shreds. And he kind of holds out, hey, I didn't do nothing. It was none of this at all. I found it like this. I did.
I know. It's okay. Come here. I've got something for you.
He comes up. Well, all right, Mr. Jack. He kind of comes up.
He comes over. I'm going to say I picked up maybe one of Ives's pistols before I left. And I'm going to hold it out and say, he wanted you to have this.
He's giving me one of his pistols? He kind of like reaches out towards the gun. Oh. Wait, what do you mean you want me to have it? You go somewhere?
Mr. Ives is gone, unfortunately. He sacrificed himself for all of us. And that's why that thing there is all in pieces.
I found it like this, honest. I didn't do it.
It's okay. And he's going to hand him the gun.
He takes it. He's like, tries to like sort of spin it and move it around. He kind of does the little kid thing. But he's like, wait, Ives is dead? And you can see like he gets a little worked up, a little sad, a little bit of tears kind of coming into his eyes a bit. Jack, roll a... what do you want to call it? Roll a notice test.
8.
He's going through the motions. You can kind of tell like he's not... like he's happy to get the gun. You don't think he's telling the truth about everything. But and most importantly, you don't think he's nearly as broke up as he's making it out to be.
Okay. I'm going to just kind of stand behind him as he's playing with the gun. I'm going to put a hand on one shoulder as he's playing. I'm going to stand behind him. I can take out my bowie knife. I'm going to slit his throat. As you pan up and tears are streaming down Jack's face as he does so.
We hear that. That camera starts to pan away. We hear a slump of the body. Like some of the cowls like stir a little bit here and there and start moving around. And we just kind of drift off. And then we will focus in on the hill where in the distance you can see the sun has started to come up over the eastern horizon. Some hills in the distance. There's this moisture on the grass that's creating this beautiful kind of glistening light. And you have Anna, and you have Cuspid, and you have Ellsworth.
Anna, you believe you believe that that's the same sun that comes up all the time? Back where we initially met, you found me face down in the trough. It's that same sun that brought us together.
Am I the one that's not talking?
No,
or-
you're good. You're good.
Oh,
I
okay.
think Melissa was muted.
You don't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
I look over at her.
She's still with us, Melissa? Or is she... You look over. Eustace, you've been talking. Maybe Cuspid, you've been talking. Or maybe you've been staying quiet, but you look over and you don't see... You don't see any breathing. You don't see anything moving. And she's just sort of laying... Are you on Ives still, or are you sitting down? Or excuse me, are you on Devil Eyes? Or are you
I
kind
was
of sitting?
sitting on Devil Eyes, and so I'm just
Yeah.
sort of
She just
leaning
sort of
forward.
slumps in her saddle as the sun
Yeah.
comes up.
What do you say, Eustace? Shall we give old Devil Eyes a slap on the rear and let Anna have one last ride? He'll know the way.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
So Cuspid, you just reach back, smack Eyes on its flank, and you smack Devil Eyes on the flank, and he just bolts off. And Anna stays in the saddle even now. And the last thing we see as we kind of fade out is just Devil Eyes in the distance, the Sioux parting and letting it past, and Anna slumping there. And we will end there for tonight. Damn, guys, that was
Right in the
amazing.
feelings.
I know, right? It's like, oh my god,
Good God.
that was amazing.
Hmm.
Just one of those things happening would have been enough, but we had three crazy things. Ives, the explosive end, the brutal last words, Jack having to do that, Anna,
Oh,
Cuspid
Jack.
failing the roll, Eustace surviving. Man, that was a lot. Everyone okay?
Yeah.
We need hugs? Everyone okay?
Mm.
God.
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, that was awesome. You guys are awesome. I know that combat dragged for a bit. It's very long, but like that was a hell of an ending
Good payoff.
to that session. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So I guess we'll figure out where we go from here. But that was a hell of an ending. Damn.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's do and kudos to you guys all for like doing it, for Chuck to just be willing to like screw it, I'm just gonna blow myself up. Jack following through on like that's
Oh
not an
my
easy
gosh.
thing, but like
No.
little
No.
Timmy is a big bad evil villain in the making.
Yeah.
Anna, yeah, and everyone
Mhm.
kind of helping her along. Yeah, you guys did
That was-
awesome. That was amazing.
That was definitely the right call to put Timmy out of his misery.
Yeah.
Also
Ives
too.
has
Poor Jack.
been
though.
wrestling that for a long time, but never had the strength to do it.
Created that monster.
Yeah.
Oh,
God, I almost just want to end there. Like I don't even. It's just like that alien when we ended that alien. Like where it just kind of came up on me. I didn't see it coming, and then we just ended. Now I'm like, I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll see where we go from here.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
that's
mean,
not the end
It's
of the
a
campaign.
good ending spot,
No,
though.
But it's a really good end.
it's very fitting.
Yeah.
And
We'll
then,
talk
like,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that one. I got to write off on Devil Eyes.
I know,
Mhm.
right? I wanted to. I wasn't sure
Yeah.
if you remember Devil Eyes, so I wanted Devil Eyes to like get in there as Jack was leaving and kind of going off. I thought, yeah,
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
man.
Yeah.
that was brutal. Okay, why don't we do a closing plug and then let's all go watch some funny YouTube videos or something. Yeah, so let's start with Jeremy. Jeremy, tell us about this Patreon.
Yeah, sure. You can look up Aaron Reese on Patreon. You've got comics, maps, RPG assets, good stuff. Why not?
Fantastic. Matt, tell us about what you're doing over on Garblag.
We're back this Thursday after a couple weeks off with Act 2 and Cthulhu Shadows of Atlantis campaign at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
I realize I have two commands for Matt. Apparently, I have kill Matt first. I forgot about that one. And then there's old Matt. Is it old Matty Two Arms that has the link? Let me see.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the old Matty Two Arms that's got the yeah. We're back to Auction Cthulhu. Bottom row, Adam. What's going on, with Grim and Perilous?
we're just slowly getting ready for some, more stuff to come. I think there's some special sort of sale going on October 28th on an adventure that Chuck wrote. We're playing uh, Tiny D6 coming this Saturday night on Grim and Perilous Plays. And for myself, I just got a record deal with my buddy from kindergarten. We got a record deal on Klaatu Records for a soundtrack we made for an independent horror film. So it's out there now. If it's all right, I can drop the link. And if you like
yeah, I was just
soundtracks
digging
for
it
horror,
up for you, actually. I was just getting
Okay.
the Discord.
If you like soundtracks for horror movies, then check it out. It's not your typical one. It's very kitschy, but I enjoyed working on it.
Fantastic. Yeah, so there's both you dropped the Bandcamp, I dropped the Spotify. So
Oh yeah. All right.
and I think there's one more. I'll drop the Amazon one too while I'm at it. Okay, so all three are there. And I'll add that to the description later this week. Okay. Chuck, what else you got, man?
Yeah, Defenders Wednesday. We're doing heading back to Alien, our brand new campaign, All Fear the Ishtar. It's an actual like serious game from Defenders, so don't miss it. Friday night, we're back to Dungeon Crawl Classics, our Dead Sun campaign, which is a not serious campaign, so don't miss that as well. And then like Adam mentioned, we're doing some Tiny D6 to Saturday night. Yeah, on Grim and Perilous Place.
Fantastic. And then let's see. Here Friday we're doing. What are we doing on Friday? We are doing Hunter the Reckoning. So we're playing that. Getting back to that campaign where we just also lost somebody. I've been killing a lot of Ashley's characters lately, and so we'll get to meet a new character on Friday. Saturday we're playing Orbital Blues, which is a ton of fun. It's a kind of a short run game we're doing while one of our Wondering players is out. So we've been doing Orbital Blues. Cowboy Bebop meets Firefly. This is zany fun. And then next Monday, we should be back to Holler for Savage Worlds. And then, I don't know. We'll talk about what we're going to do with Deadlands. We'll see what's up. And we'll get back to you on that. Other than that, go buy some Norse Foundry dice. Use code Lolly. Get 10% off. Lots of great stuff. And we're going to go ahead and raid our friends. Actually, wait. Norse Foundry is actually up. They're painting. We'll raid them. We just plugged them. So let's go ahead and raid their channel. So look at that. Perfect timing. So that's it. Thanks for everybody. Thanks for everybody who threw out some bits, tried to help some folks. And we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.